I've put off this video for a while now, only because I really like this pedal, and I'm afraid that I won't do it justice. But who cares? We're here. Let's do it. The Hudson Broadcast is one of a few pedals based on, inspired by, designed in the style of a classic console. In this case, the mic preamps of an RCA broadcast console. Something like this, with those mushroom knobs that Keeley's been putting on his stuff lately. Now, we've got a gain knob and a gain switch. And there's some overlap between those settings, but the middle position here keeps things pretty clean. Left is where the saturation and the compression starts to set in, and over to the right, it's basically a fuzz. The low cut knob over here regulates how much the presence of lower frequencies will affect the type of drive we get. Super important to pay attention to when we're dialing things in to make sure we get the balance that we have in mind. This pedal right here is fairly new to me, but I've had this one, the dual-footswitch version, for almost 2 years. Both of these pedals share the same engine. Any sound you can get from this one, you can get from this one, and vice versa. It's just how you get there. On the inside, they're both dual-transistor designs, one germanium, one silicon, with a transformer towards the output, which helps with that saturated compression once you really start to load it up. The difference here is instead of flipping a switch and turning a knob, we click a foot switch and turn a knob. Each mode, high and low, has its own level knob and a pair of trim pots on the inside, so we get to define our own high and low gain settings. I tend to keep low as just like a barely there preamp style effect, and I almost never turn it off. And then I use the high setting to push it just a little bit more. And if I want crunch, I get that from my amp. And if I need a fuzz, I bring in a fuzz. And speaking of dual transistor designs, I just got back from the Philly pedal party where I picked up this DTF, dual transistor fuzz, from Voltic Electronics. And this does some pretty fun stuff as well. There's one more important difference here. Both of these can run internally at 24 volts for added headroom. This one, because it's the 24 volt version, has an internal charge pump to get there from a regular 9 volt input. This one needs that additional juice from your power supply or an adapter or something. But does it really make a difference? Let's hook it up and find out. Oh yeah, huge difference, especially dropping down to 9 volts. At 18 and up, there's enough headroom for a good bit of signal, and we get a whole lot of clarity when we go up to 24. Way down at 9 volts, there's so little headroom, it's hard for it not to distort. Of course, we could just back off the gain a little bit, but I feel like these really come alive at the higher voltages. Plus, I'm just a sucker for a special edition. This pedal, maybe more than any other that I've brought on here, they really depend on what else you have and how you're using. It's going to respond very differently to aggressive playing versus light finger picking, and low output vintage single coils versus high output humbuckers. But by understanding the interplay between the 3 primary controls on here, there's a lot of voices we can conjure up. There are a couple variations of these Hudson Broadcast pedals out there. The basic single channel, the dual-footswitch 24 volt, the Ariel Posen's signature version. They all look and sound amazing, just majoring in different areas. I've got a link to that reverb search right down in my video description. I will say that before I got the bucks together to get the real thing, a friend lent me a pedal which we just assumed was a clone based on the look and the name. Comparing them back to back and looking at the parts they used, completely different pedal. Temu Broadcast, absolute garbage, and I'm not saying that to gatekeep, just be careful what you bring home and plug into. That goes for a lot of things, actually. I hope you're having a good time. I know I am. I'll catch you on the next one.